Good afternoon. It is an exciting time to be part of Souci. It is an exciting time to be part of Souci. A couple of weeks ago, I was sitting in a committee meeting and we were discussing a variety of projects that we have going on. All of these projects are great ways that we are moving Souci forward. But as with all growth comes feelings of being overwhelmed, the pressure of wanting to make the best and right decisions for Souci, and then there's the actual task of doing the work when everyone is busy and Souci is experiencing so much growth in nearly every area of our organization, leaving our staff and leadership team pulled in many directions. I couldn't help but have this thought run through my mind, and I ended up sharing that thought at the end of the meeting. You know, it is really an exciting time to be at Souci. And that thought couldn't be truer. As I reflect on the 2023 year, and I see how our donors, our shoppers, our volunteers, our board members, our community members, and our employees have not only made this thought feel true, but it is true. It is an exciting time. I say this and I feel this for so many reasons. 2023 brought so much change and growth to our organization in a variety of ways. Operationally, we had the highest number of donors we've ever had. We had the highest number of shoppers and register transactions in our organization's history. We purchased 40 brand new shopping carts to keep up with the shopping demand. We hosted 2 sold-out VIP events. We were voted Best Thrift Store for the 4th row in a year from the Republic's Reader's Choice Awards. We gained over 1,000 followers on our social media channels, recycled more than we ever have in our organization's history, which was 160,103 pounds of metal and textile. We received one of the largest grants in our Souci's history, a $60,000 grant to help us purchase a box truck and a passenger van. We switched from a physical server to cloud storage, something some of us needed a little extra help on understanding. That was not an easy concept. In our no-cost program, which provides necessity items free of charge to those in need, we helped 2,773 individuals live life without worry by providing clothing, shoes, and winter coat assistance. 341 individuals were able to start or retain their employment because they received a pair of steel-toe boots. Something not many of us think of, but we ensured that no community member had to go without things like underwear and socks by giving away over 4,200 pairs of socks and over 1,400 pair of underwear. We saw a 210% increase in our Spanish-speaking population, the largest growth we've had in a single demographic. In our low-cost program, which offers clothing, household items, and other donated goods at affordable prices, we had 73,813 transactions for the low-cost goods compared to 2022 when that number was just over 50,000. We had 41 additional discount clothing days, 7 free book days, and 3 free days. We also hosted a number of fun-themed days offering discounts and celebrating days like National Pajama Day, Halloween costumes, Ugly Christmas Sweater Day, and many more. In our employee development program, which hires those with employment barriers and supports each employee to remove barriers and set them on a path of lifelong self-sufficiency, we hired 72 employees, with 15 of those employees moving on to higher paying wages. We were able to overcome new barriers with some of our employees, such as those who did not speak English. Thanks to the help of our bilingual coordinator, we currently have 7 different languages that are spoken amongst our employees. And I can barely speak English, so. We completed many internal safety updates to our store and warehouse, such as switching to higher quality cut-resistant gloves and switching to ceramic knives, which literally cut down on our overall employee accidents. We renamed our Crisis to Stability program to Souci Foundations to better reflect what the hope is during this phase of the employee development. Souci Foundations is designed to aid our employees when they are first hired. During Souci Foundations phase, we focus on stability and removing barriers. We feel that by building a solid, strong foundation, they will be able to focus on and be ready for their next career steps and will feel confident enough to be part of Souci Build You program. Each year, I am blown away by our community's support and investment into Souci. I am blown away by how our community is excited to support and work that happens each day at Souci. I see the excitement each day in our store where we see an average of 250 shoppers. And I see this daily in our donation center where over 80 donors per day choose to support Souci by entrusting their donations with us. I have seen hundreds of volunteers excited to support Souci with their time. I see the excitement in our board members who faithfully show up at 7:30 a.m. board meetings and attend community meetings and other trainings. I see our community partners that are excited to financially support Souci and donate their time to sit on committees and help us with projects. I see our employees who are eager to improve themselves while aiding our community through their daily work in the donation center, store, and our office. This excitement and energy are what has fueled my passion for the past 29 years that I have been with Souci. It's what fuels my passion today, and this community of excitement is going to be crucial in our next steps as we address and face many challenges. How will we continue supporting the volume of growth with our current manpower limitations? How will we continue to make the biggest impact that we can in our current facility? Continuing to work on safety and improve flow of donations in order to maximize the impact of every donation. Continue investing in and expanding our Souci Foundations and Souci Build You programs. Seek community partners to provide financial support, volunteers to lead trainings, and collaborate with our businesses for the Souci Build You externships. But with your support, I am confident that Souci will continue to grow each day, each year, and I know it will continue to be an exciting time to be part of Souci. So whether you're a donor, a shopper, a board member, an employee, or community partner, or volunteer, just know that you are what makes it possible for us to help others live life without worry. And of course, one of the things that we are proudest of and that we are the most excited for is our Souci Build You of 2024 graduates, which we will be celebrating during the rest of our time together. To share more with you on what our graduates have accomplished this past year is Courtney Faust, who I would like to invite to the podium at this time. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon. My name is Courtney Faust, and I've had the privilege of serving as the Community Outreach Coordinator for the past 7 years. And I have said it for years now, and I'll say it again, I have the best job. Because my job is to inform the community about the great work that Souci is doing, and that's what I'm here to do today, is to inform you about the great work that Souci is doing through our Souci Build You program. As part of my job, I've gotten the opportunity to attend many of the workshop classes that our graduates have been through, and I got to be a witness to everything that our graduates have learned in the past year. Since you all were not able to be with us in those sessions and workshops, I wanted to take the next few moments and share some of the things that our graduates have learned over the past year. And I want to share and remind the graduates of some of the lessons and things that they have learned over the past year. The SSBU journey began in August of 2023. We started this day with an orientation and an overview of what the next year would entail. I think at this point, a lot of our graduates were thinking, what did I just get myself signed up for? But then we gave them candy and Coach started talking about onion rings and it just made them all feel at ease. Then we threw you into the world of finance. And I know you all were kind of nervous about this workshop because it was the first workshop and of course it's all about numbers and money. But thanks to our friends at Central Credit Union, our graduates learned all about banking basics, budgeting, making the right money moves. And many of you stated that this actually ended up being one of your favorite workshops. In September, you had your first session. A session is a one-time class on a specific topic versus a 6-week workshop, which covers a variety of topics. This session was on growth mindset. In this session, we learned that things like light bulbs, air conditioning, Disney World, clean hospitals, and my personal favorite, pumpkin spice lattes, would not exist without growth mindset. We made peanut butter sandwiches, and I made the graduates nervous because I was watching them very closely as they made their peanut butter sandwich. But we learned that no matter if you used creamy or crunchy peanut butter, whether you used strawberry or grape jelly, whether you used a knife or a spoon to spread the peanut butter, at the end of everything, you made a peanut butter sandwich, and that is true for your life as well. It doesn't matter how long it took you to get where you were, what choices or decisions you made along the way, or how you got there. You're here, and look at you now. In October, you started the communications workshop with Ivy Tech professor James Boldman. This workshop was a lot of fun. We learned about why we communicate, nonverbal communication, and we learned how quickly we can misinterpret nonverbal communication. So like in this video I'm going to show you, for example, when we played the telephone charades game, they're laughing because they know. So in this video, for example, when we played the telephone and charades game, and they were having to describe a very specific scenario using their nonverbal communication.
Would you like to see it repeated?
Yes, can you repeat it? Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, stop it.
That's not even all of it yet.
Oh, God. I'm trying to see you to be a straight face. Okay.
Oh, man.
So clearly they were trying to communicate when you're at a rock concert and you suddenly need to use the restroom. So after a month breaks for the holidays, we got right back at it in January, where we kicked off the year with Coach Rick once again, and we learned about your personal values, what's important to you, and we learned if you were a let's do it now lion, a optimistic it'll work out otter, a patient loyal golden retriever, or a factual detailed beaver. and about the different personality strengths and weaknesses that comes from being one of these types of animal personas. In February, we were able to learn with our wonderful instructor, Kay Thatcher, where we spent 6 weeks learning about professional development and learned about different topics that helped you prepare for your future careers. We learned about things like what it means to have mutual respect, what qualities make a good employee, and why us extroverts need to be careful about outshining or out-talking the introverts because we all have unique strengths that we bring to the workplace. In March, we took a trip across town to learn from our friends over at McDowell Education Center, where you spent the next 6 weeks learning about different types of careers that were available. You made it through the nerve-wracking process of going through mock interviews, and you did something that most of you had never done before, which was to create and present a PowerPoint. Finally, in April, we spent the next few weeks in personal development, taught by our friend Kyle Hendricks, where you were challenged to think deeper about yourself and about your strengths, weaknesses, threats you'll face in your future, and the opportunities that you have. We learned how to think more positively of ourselves and learn about our personality types. We laughed because 2 of us in the class had the same personality type, and the other 3 that were in there also had the same personality type. And then Kyle informed us that those personality types often clash. And so we said if we were a rock band, we would call ourselves the Clashers. And now we're here today. And many of you have just finished up your externships. Can you believe that? It seems like just yesterday we were sending you through the orientation. And now you have completed your externships in fields that you were all excited and passionate about. But I remember how nervous each of you were to begin that process, which is a normal feeling, but again, look at you now. Alexis, you spent 6 weeks at Columbus Regional Health in the pharmacy department, and I'm really excited that they've been so supportive of your journey and that it's been such a great experience for you as you learned more about the pharmacy technician world. Jason, you said from the beginning of SSBU that you had an interest in going into a trade, and we're really excited that you got to spend some time with our friends at Axum and Frankie Plumbing. And I know that's been a really great experience for you and very eye-opening. Brooke, you've grown so much during SSBU, and I know that you had a blast during your externship helping out the staff at United Way Bartholomew County. And you were definitely in your element there, especially when it came time to organizing things. You have a heart of gold, and your passion for helping others is obvious in everything you do. And Matt, I know how much you love Souci, but we're really proud of you for sticking to your dream, which was to go to truck driving school. You got your Class A CDL. And I know your blood pressure was super high during that whole training process, but we never doubted you, and I'm glad that you were able to believe in yourself and accomplish that. So in a moment, I'm going to step away and we're going to show you our graduate video where our graduates are going to share their own personal experiences with SSBU. But I wanted to conclude just by sharing a quote that you'll also find in your SSBU yearbook, but I really do think it sums up this year and graduation. It's a quote by Orrin Hatch, and it simply says that graduation is not the end, it's the beginning. So, congratulations to you on not just your graduation, but on the beginning of your future. Thank you.
I wanted to join Souci Belgium to help further my future and career. The most impactful thing I've learned since being in SSBU is my finances so I can eventually buy a home. The thing I'm most excited for in my future is to grow my career into being a pharmacy technician. I would tell someone considering applying for Souci Belgium that to go for it because it has been such a great help. I would like to thank Souci and all of my friends and family for supporting me during this process.
I wanted to apply to Souci Belgium to just get some more tools for my tool belt, just more knowledge and go through the workshops and just be able to get some experience in other things that I haven't ever tried to do before. The most impactful thing for me being in SSBU is just self-reflection and being more confident. I'm most excited for my future just to see where Souci Builds You and everything I've done leads me into the future. I'm working right now in a plumbing externship and everything's going great. I really like what I'm doing there, and hopefully once my 6-week externship is over, maybe I can pursue that further. What I would tell someone who's thinking about joining the Souci Builds You program is just, there's so much you can learn. You have all the workshops. And everyone that I've had workshops with, they're great. They volunteer their time and they're just really good at teaching you everything that they want to bring to you. I would just like to thank everybody that is on the Souci Builds You board, everybody that's involved with it. I would really like to thank all the people that volunteer their time just to come in and teach us this stuff and give us this knowledge. Because a lot of them they're not getting paid for this. They're just volunteering and want to help us progress in our future.
I wanted to join Souci Builds You because it was a second chance for me to go back to school and to be able to learn the things I needed to grow in areas of my life. The most impactful thing that I've learned since being in SSBU is not all the information given to you in workshops and classes, but how the community members and the class members rally together to make SSBU happen. I'm most excited about my future knowing where I'll be at in a few years. I would like to work in social services somewhere. I would tell someone who is considering to apply for the SSBU program that there's never a better chance to learn, and Souci will be behind you 100%. I would like to start off by thanking Souci's leadership team and the Souci Builds You committee. I would also like to thank all of the teachers and the community members that put in all of their efforts to make this program happen.
I wanted to join Souci Builds You because I wanted to learn some new skills, and also I knew it would give me a chance to build a better career. The most impactful thing I've learned since being in SSBU is I've learned how to do my financing better, and also my communication skills have gotten a lot better. What I'm most excited for in my future is I just obtained my Class A CDLs, and I can't wait to start driving a semi. What I would tell someone that is thinking about applying for the Souci Builds You program is that it's a great opportunity to build your life into the future, to get a better career, and just all the way around have a better life. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Cheryl Adams, Brad Woodcock, Souci all the way around, because I just absolutely love Souci.
Don't want to trip.
I was holding my breath.
They laughed because I fell off a bike not too long ago and broke my clavicle, so I had an encounter with the floor. But I wanted to ask you a question, each of you today. Just answer it in your head. You don't have to raise your hand or say it out loud. Have you ever doubted yourself? We all have. Our past experiences, expectations from others, access to opportunities try to inform us of what our possibilities are. They cannot predict what we can accomplish. Our past knows nothing about our future. Less than 2 years ago, I stood in a room like this to kick off Souci Builds You, a program only in the mind of all those that had imagined the possibility of helping Souci employees develop further. That was actually the name, the original name was Further Development. Not very catchy. Even a program that highlighted the possibility of leaving Sans Souci and finding a new place where they could flourish. Our dream, a budding flower then, now lives true in these 4 graduates here today. First, I want to share a few words to these 4 outstanding people. You have overcome so many obstacles. Many only you know what they are. The people in this room celebrate your success. The future is yet to be written. Your past does not define you. The hardest part that we designed into this program was for you, each of you, to believe that you always had it in you to meet your goals. The staff, coaches, teachers have always known that. But how do we convey that feeling? To help you know that you can believe in yourselves. I joined the rest of Sans Souci in saying, we believe. And to ask you to believe. Believe that you have the power to write your own future. I recently read an article referencing the work of Bronnie Ware, author of the book, The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. The single most common regret was, and it was surprising to me, was, I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. Today you are showing the courage to live a life not defined by others, even your past selves. The future is bright and you are the light, defining what is next. You're amazing. Last year, I made the difficult decision to leave a religious organization that had been my home all my life. There had been many years I had lost faith in such an organization, but was content quietly quitting and standing in the sidelines undefined. I knew that my family might be upset if I left. I knew that my children might be confused in the way that I was living the religion we were attending. Without noticing, my cowardice of making a decision impacted how I viewed myself. Without notice, one day I ran out of my daily medication and I just didn't refill it. I forwent my regular checkups and I thought I was fine. I was neglecting the things that would help me be successful in my life. And so it went. In October, I made the decision to leave the congregation and to define my own future. Over the past 6 months, I have been able to regain much control. The biggest benefit is the feeling of living a life true to myself. I still have many regrets, but taking the reins of how I worship has allowed me to flourish. To everyone here in the audience today, those that are meeting these individuals, our graduates for the first time, and those that have been alongside them for many years, we cannot do the work without you. Sans Souci Build You depends on your willingness to suspend the judgment and to take a leap of faith with us. Your efforts, your dollars, your past experiences have to shift from what was to what could it be? How can we betray the certainty of the past? Yet today, you see how what could be is now what is. Your belief that humans are not defined by the scripts handed down from generations make it possible to write your own story. Which courageous changes must you make to to live a life that is true to yourself? What expectations from others must you shatter so you die without regret? Again, to everyone in the room, we have a commitment to ourselves. No longer can we believe that we cannot affect our own future. We cannot say that we have to live with what was handed down to us. We have 4 examples here in front of us that can attest that we can better our station in life, not by our bootstraps, but by a caring community that rallies and supports us. We cannot stand idle and see our life pass like passengers in our own destiny. We must take the wheel and make the decisions that will take us to a life that is true to our potential. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Karen Duro. I'm the program coordinator. At this time, I would like to present the certificates to our participants. So please, Brooke Adams, please. Alexis Hartman. Matthew Hartliff.
Thank you.
And Jason Wilson. Congratulations. Okay, let's give them another round of applause. Now, I would like to invite Matt Ratliff to the podium to share his story and his SSBU experience.
I just forgot everything I was going to say. No. My name is Matthew Ratliff. I came to Souci December of 2022. Prior to that, how I got to Souci was I'm from Franklin, Indiana. I grew up there all my life. I grew up in a middle-class home. My dad worked at Allison Transmissions. He made pretty decent money. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. My dad was always gone, and whenever he wasn't working, he was at the bars drinking. You know, he'd come home. He was very abusive to my mom, to me, to my brother. It caused me at a young age to go out and run the streets. You know, I mean, whenever you're running the streets, you're hanging out with the wrong crowd, hanging out with the wrong people, doing the wrong things. With that being said, you know, I started doing drugs at a young age, which led to dealing drugs, which led later on into my adulthood, and you know, I was in and out of incarceration, prison. The last time I went to prison, I got sentenced to 10 years DOC out of Bartholomew County for dealing methamphetamine, a level 2. They gave me the whole 10 years. The judge told me if I did right and wanted to come home early, then I'd get in there and I'd show her that I wanted to come home early. So, you know, I got in there. I wasn't so sure, you know, whenever you get 10 years on your life, I mean, at 36 years old, 37 years old, you think your life's probably over, you know. So I got in there and I had to reevaluate and sit down. And I decided, you know, I wanted to come home. I wanted to be a dad to my son that I hadn't been a dad to, you know. I got my GED while I was locked up this time. I did 2 two substance abuse programs. I did a whole year-long program called the Plus program. I wrote the judge. I did 4 years. I wrote the judge, went in front of her, and she granted me a modification and let me out early. With that being said, I'm still on probation until 2026, which is fine. You know, I can do it now. Before, I would have never done it. Prior to being released, I asked to go to a sober living home so that I would have a chance out here, a chance that I never had before. So I got granted into the ASAP program. It's a 6-month program, or you can stay longer. It's pretty cool. So got in there, probably the 3rd day being there, I needed a job. You're supposed to work. So the ladies over at the ASAP program walked me over to San Souci. I met Brad. He gave me a job pretty much on the spot. And he started me out in receiving. I started out in receiving donation area. And within probably a month, San Souci helped me get my license back. And they seen if the insurance would cover me on a box truck, driving a box truck to collect donations. So it did. I did that for probably 6 months. And then they promoted me to operations assistant supervisor. During that time, I was watching everybody else in the last San Souci Build You class move on and get careers and do things better to better their lives, and I figured, why not give it a shot? So I put an application in for the San Souci Build You program, got accepted. I just completed the course. I just completed it, and a couple of the classes that I took, all the classes were great, but the classes that really helped me out were like finances. I love money, so I love spending money. Let's put it that way. My credit, since I've been out, my credit is, I got it up to 730 right now. I just got a loan for a new motorcycle. Communications class was another class that I really liked. I can talk, as you guys can tell. So I just wanted to better myself, man. I've never had an opportunity where, I had so many great things going for me, and during this time incarcerated, I had lost my dad. My mom's been gone since 2009, but I had lost my dad. So whenever I got out here, I really didn't have anybody, and then once I don't know why God put me into San Souci, but I just got a family for life there, and I'm just thrilled for it, So the biggest thing that I wanted to accomplish was to get my CDLs. I always loved to drive. I was always driving for the wrong reasons, but I was driving a lot, so they worked with Work One, got me a grant for my externship. I don't know if you guys are familiar with CDL training, but it's pretty expensive. It's $5,000 out of pocket. If you finance it, it's $6,000. So, but if you could do it and you really want to do it, I suggest it. It's great. Prior to that, I graduated my class. It was the longest month of my life, I think. Being locked up, I don't think it had anything on the stress level that this had. I really wanted it though. So once I graduated, I went back to San Souci. No problem. They took me back. I was supposed to move on, I thought, so I had that stress over my head too. And they were all telling me, "You're fine. You're supposed to be here." So I was blessed enough. I thought I was going to have to end up going over the road for a job to drive a semi truck, and I don't know how it fell into my hands, but I'm driving locally now for Coca-Cola. I work 25, 30 hours a week. They're paying me for 40. It's great. I have time to spend my money. I don't know. It's just been a great experience. I just want to thank everybody for it. Everybody that had a part in it, I just want to thank you very much. And I want to leave this by telling you guys that I absolutely do love San Souci.
Good afternoon, San Souci Build You class of 2024 and distinguished guests. Over the past several years, I've been asked one question more often than any other, and here's the question. Hey, Pop, who's your favorite Disney princess? Now, maybe you get asked that question a lot, or maybe it's just because I have 2 young granddaughters, but for whatever the reason, I want to here publicly state that officially on the record, my favorite Disney princess is Moana. Like me, you may have watched the Moana movie about 20 times, or if you aren't that familiar with it because maybe you actually watch grown-up movies sometimes, let me tell you about it. Moana, our hero, is a strong-willed young person who's been sheltered by her father because of past tragedy that happened in the ocean outside the protection of their harbor reef. Father even goes so far as to tell Moana, no one goes beyond the reef. But Moana grows to realize that to discover her authentic self and to save her people, she must take a voyage into the unknown ocean accompanied by her loyal companions. And if you look at the top row there, that's actually our Souci Build U class of 2024. You can pick who is whom. And I will say this wise but somewhat crazy grandmother in the lower left, I assume is Cheryl or Courtney. Matt's going to sign them for you, Courtney. It's going to be okay. On their voyage beyond the harbor come many challenges and dangers. High wind, strong waves, surprise enemies, a lady of fire, a huge giant crustacean. But with the spirit of a warrior who leaves her comfort zone to change her life, her world, and her future. With bravery, perseverance, resilience, and faith, Moana eventually overcomes all the challenges, saves her people, and discovers her true self and what she's capable of becoming. Yes, the story of Moana is the story of Souci Build U class of 2024. You were brave enough to take a chance, to leave your comfort zone of the safe harbor and to venture out. You overcame the challenge of learning and experiencing many new things. Your skills grew with each successful experience. And finally, you made it here to today's celebration through your bravery, your persistence, your resilience, and your faith. And now you are closer to discovering your true self. To let you in on a little secret, all of us here today are on this same voyage. And we all have learned key lessons that Moana experienced. To become who we want to be, we must leave the comfort of our beach. We must understand who we have been so that we can become who we want to be. And no matter what difficulties happen in the future, we can call upon our warrior mentality to get us through. Souci Build U class of 2024, everything you've done, everything you've learned, everything you've experienced over the last year will always be a part of who you are. Thank you for daring to take a voyage to make more of your life. We are all inspired by what you've done, and we're honored to share this day with you. Congratulations.
Well, it's hard to top a lot of this that's been said today and all the accomplishments that the graduates have accomplished. But I would like to conclude by saying thank you to Arturo and to Rick for sharing today. Thank you to Courtney for a year in review. I want to thank Matt for his bravery and for sharing his story. Matt is an inspiration to all of our community, to our employees who have walked through similar paths, and he is an inspiration to all who have had the privilege of hearing his story. As I mentioned earlier, I am excited for the things that have happened to Souci this past year. I'm even more excited for the future work that has to come. But it's going to take an entire community to be excited in order for these goals to happen. We need you to be excited about the work taking place at Souci to create long-term stability for Souci. We need you to be excited about these life-changing stories and to keep investing in people like Matt, Jason, Alexis, and Brooke. With your support, we promise to always carry out our mission where we help everyone live life without worry. And we hope that you will join our organization and that you will be excited about what's going on at Souci, and that you will be excited to donate your time by volunteering. You'll be excited to shop in our store and to see what unique things that you might find. You will be excited to entrust your goods to our organization. We hope that you will be excited to use your skill sets by serving on one of our committees, and that you join us and be excited to financially support our efforts, or that your business will be excited to sponsor or partner with our programs. There are so many ways you can support Souci. We hope that you will continue to be part of the excitement going on at Souci. I know just by looking around this room that there are board members, employees, donors, shoppers, community partners, volunteers, and just know how much we value each and every one of you. And we could truly never thank you enough for helping us help others live life without worry. I want to thank Ivy Tech for allowing us to utilize this beautiful space, and thank you again for attending today's event. You are welcome to socialize a bit longer, grab a cupcake, sign the graduates' yearbooks, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you.